Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about why the NBA media hates small market teams. For the last 9 or 10 months, I have been making basketball YouTube videos, and with an emphasis on the Houston Rockets, once James Harden left, there was pretty much no media coverage at all. The Houston Rockets this season actually have 0 TNT games. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. The Milwaukee Bucks, a small market team, got disrespected the entire season until the NBA Finals when ESPN, media, they're like, oh hey, you know what? The Bucks are actually a super fun and exciting team. Let's start to write about them more. Let's start to talk about them more. In my experience covering the Rockets, with an emphasis on the Rockets, just covering the NBA in general, but with a main focus on the Houston Rockets for the last 9 months or so, it's almost as if nobody even talks about them. Undisputed's not going to talk about them. First Take's not going to talk about them, etc., etc. And in the last couple of weeks, I've started to make Toronto Raptor videos. And it's practically impossible to find any kind of credible news station in this sports world that's talking about the Toronto Raptors. Like, pretty much only Raptor fans are talking about the Toronto Raptors, and to me, they have one of the most interesting young cores and future ahead of them in the entire NBA. I made a Memphis Grizzlies video a couple of days ago. It's got like 700 views. The Memphis Grizzlies situation is pretty fascinating. There's a lot going on in Memphis. They just did a very big overhaul of their roster. They just said Dylan Brooks and Kyle Anderson are available for the right price. It seems like they're emphasizing defense. How long is Ja Morant going to take that? I'm sure the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be set for years ahead. Before the current present date, I don't believe that they necessarily got better in the offseason as far as roster moves. They made a big trade to move up to number, 10 in the draft? Zaire Williams. It's very fun looking up info and watching videos on the Memphis Grizzlies, and as I kind of prepare for these videos, I read articles, I watch videos, I do all that type of things. But here's the thing, only that kind of niche is talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. Same thing with Chris Duarte and the Indiana Pacers. I thought the Indiana Pacers Summer League team was pretty good. In fact, I think the Indiana Pacers are going to shock almost the whole league next season. They have a ton of promising potential players in their starting lineup right now. But once again, in my research, I could really only find Indiana Pacers news stations, etc., journalists talking about the Indiana Pacers. And when I cover teams like the Los Angeles Lakers, my 4 out of my top 5 most viewed videos are the Los Angeles Lakers. Whether or not the Lakers are good, once again, they will be talked about. You click on Undisputed, and I'm not trying to diss Undisputed, I'm not trying to diss First Take, I'm not trying to diss any news station or any journalist or anything like that. In fact, I love Shannon Sharp. I kind of like Undisputed. All they're going to start the show off talking about the Lakers for the first half hour, then they're going to switch to the Cowboys. It's the same thing every week. They're just covering who the most amount of people want to watch. And that just happens to be Lakers. I mean, you've got LeBron, you've got AD, you've got Russ, you've got 4 first ballot Hall of Famers in your starting lineup. Of course, people are going to want to hear about them, but here's the issue. You can do it so much. I don't really need to know anything new about the Lakers. From the last week or so, there's nothing really. Yeah, Russell Westbrook and LeBron James worked out early. Like, cool. We can talk about that for 10 minutes. Then I would like if they could move on to team conversations like, is Scotty Barnes going to be better than Jalen Suggs? Is Jalen Green going to be better than Cade Cunningham? And not just touch on a game that they saw in Summer League, Cade versus Jalen. I want to see an in-depth analysis. I want to see, and I'll use the Detroit Pistons as an example too. I love making Detroit Piston videos. I love making videos for all teams, but specifically, it's like the Rockets, the Pistons, the Raptors, all these small market teams are way more grateful for the content because nobody talks about it. And for me, the Detroit Pistons, I used to live just outside of Detroit. I like talking about the Pistons, and when I do, I get good feedback because it's a very interesting subject. They've got Cade Cunningham. They just paid Kelly Olynyk a lot of money. Troy Weaver's been making a lot of good moves. I wish more people would elaborate on that. And it basically comes down to money. It comes down to money. That's really all it is. Toronto, the Raptor Nation, Raptor fans are unbelievably gracious. They're unbelievably loyal. They will watch a lot of videos. They love their team and they want to hear other opinions. They just want more Raptors content. But for some reason, Los Angeles Lakers, even though you're dealing with a whole country, you're dealing with the whole country of Canada. The whole country of Canada watches the Raptors. But no, let's choose Los Angeles and let's talk about the Lakers. Let's talk about the Clippers. And once again, I like the Lakers. I like the Clippers. I like hearing about both of those teams. But I don't want to hear about them 5 straight days every single time. That's all the conversations are about. Is Kawhi Leonard going to be healthy? Is LeBron James going to be healthy? Is Anthony Davis going to be healthy? So how do we get more love to small market teams? Do they have to be better? Honestly, that's why I really like making YouTube videos, because it inspires so many people. When I first started making videos with the Rockets, I've had a handful of people tell me, hey, I started making Rocket videos because you inspired me. And that's exactly why I make these types of videos, to inspire you guys, to inspire the viewers. Because I'm just an average guy. I'm just your normal person giving his opinion on basketball. And I like hearing your guys' opinion and all that fun stuff. Basketball, YouTube, you got to have the abundancy mindset. There's plenty for all. And so that's kind of my best solution to the small market teams are the only ones big market teams are the only ones who should get airtime. Because the Toronto Raptors, especially, I keep using the Raptors as an example because Raptor Nation's changing my life. I'm like 700 subs away from 8,000. I had 5,000 the first day of July. They're changing my life. And I just think, especially with my Rockets background, I would love for more people to talk about the Rockets. I love watching Rocket videos. I love listening to Rocket podcasts. If you type in Los Angeles Lakers, you have 80,000 channels making content about the Lakers. Whereas if you type in Memphis Grizzlies, there's going to be like a handful of people that post consistent content. I don't even know. There's probably 1 or 2 people who post consistent Memphis Grizzlies content every single day. So that's what I say. That's what I encourage you all to do, is to just make videos about your team, talk about your team, tweet about your team. Just have fun, man. Enjoy the game of basketball. That's really it, man. That's really all I got today. It was kind of a little rant, but I'm just kind of sick of, especially just being a content creator the last year or so. It's just small market. I want them to get talked about more. So that's it for today, guys. Once again, if you enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Let me know your thoughts on this video. I've never really done something like this. So peace.